Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Give me a minute here while I adjust the volume a little bit. A little bit more difficult to adjust the volume with the YouTube video, but you know, we're working it here. Okay. Where the hell can I put this? The not covering things. Well, we'll do that for right now. Cool. Hope everyone has been doing well. Has a good start to your weekend. And all good things along the way. So hopefully everything's go well. Let's go get the main screen up here. Hopefully, if I've done everything right. Yes, there we go. Little extra setup I have. Since I moved my development environment to my Surface laptop, I have to make sure everything's kind of switched over in Stream Deck and everything else. Cool beans. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing well. So we're gonna pick up where I left off last night. Hopefully finish up except for testing. The developer adding and viewing apps that they've added. I can kind of run a test via Postman, make sure things are working the way they were before when I manually put stuff into the database. Try to get rid of the columns that I don't need anymore, and then we'll start to look at the user side of things and the applications page on the user settings stuff, where they can see what applications they have connected to their account and then remove them if they so desire. So that is kind of where we're at here. Kind of stuck in, like, very much feel like this is the really difficult kind of phase where you just feel like you're constantly stuck in first gear, right? It's like, oh, we're still doing login stuff. We're still doing the basics of logins and stuff, and it kind of sucks because you know you just feel like you're kind of stuck there. But at the same token, and as I've said before, like, I'm establishing patterns. So with the fields that I'm inputting, the pages that I'm laying down and all that stuff are all establishing patterns for more pages in the future and for more features in the future. And so my hope is that once I've gotten some of this foundational layer, or more of this foundational layer, working and kind of behind me, that we'll start to see features sort of firing off faster and a little bit more interesting features. You know, I definitely want to jump into I think the first major thing I want to jump into is getting getting chat working, which will lay down the foundations for how to do, because the way that I'll be doing chat will be very similar to the way that I'll be handling the communications for video and stuff. Similar, but not entirely identical, but similar. So that'll kind of lay down the foundation work for that, and I'll have something of my own that works, that I can look at and go, okay, this is how I did this. Now let's see how I can use that to do this next thing, and how I can use that to do this other thing. Going along. This is the part of development that just takes forever and a day. You know, it's funny how fast you can move once you've got pieces in place that you can look at and kind of crib off of, you know, like when you land in a company and they've had an application that you're going to work on, and that application has had, you know, 2 years of life underneath of it. It's been in development for 2 years. It's in production and all that stuff. And then they want to add additional features to it. In many respects, those new features tend to be a little bit easier to deal with because they're often variations on a theme. And so you can kind of look at other parts of the system that do something similar but not quite the same, and you can kind of pull all those pieces together and make something out of it that is, you know, that works the way you want it to work. But then also in so doing that, you also get to look back at some of those other things and go, you know, looking at this again, there's a better way, a more efficient way to do what we did here. I'll do that more efficient way in this new feature, and then we can circle around later and come back to the old feature and maybe improve that in a similar way. So it's very iterative if you're doing it right. You know, not everybody's doing it right. Not everybody has that kind of time or that kind of authority, I guess would be the word I would use there. You know, sometimes you're just a cog in a machine. You can only do what you're allowed to do and nothing further. And that always sucks. But sometimes you land in a company that gives you a little bit more autonomy. And as long as you can justify what you're doing, and everyone else is on board with it, you know, you can make a compelling or convincing argument. A lot of times you can get some things done and get progress done and movement done and stuff like that. It's always good to be constantly like looking forward at what's coming down the pike. I know that saved us quite a bit in my day job, where, you know, we had when I started working there, you know, the main application was a Java applet, and Java applets were still blessed, I guess, in you know, browsers and all that stuff. You could still run them. They were still available. But you know, you could sense the winds of change turning, especially with, you know, Apple kind of ejecting Java from its ecosystem, and stuff like that. You could kind of feel like the winds of change were coming. And so years before that, you know, all that got ejected, like a year or two beforehand, you know, myself and the other developers were like pushing management to be like, we need to get off of this. We need to get onto something else because the ground is shifting and there's not going to be any ground underneath our feet if we don't get started now. And luckily we were able to do it. We were able to get started and get actually pretty much completely done moving off of that applet and into a more server-based solution before, you know, the walls came tumbling down and it was like, all right, no more applets in the browsers, you know, we're not supporting this anymore, and everything kind of got ejected out the airlock. So that was very, very good that we were on top of that, and we were able to get movement on that. We were done before we needed to be, you know, before the world changed on us, which is always a good thing. It's always far more rewarding to be proactive than to have to react and constantly have your hair on fire as you're running around the office, you know, that kind of thing. So that's sort of the similar way that I kind of look at this. This stuff is like, I'm running into problems because I'm using bleeding edge stuff quote unquote bleeding edge. I'm using the latest versions of things. And so I'm running into problems that maybe a normal person or a more conservative developer probably wouldn't run into, because they'd probably be using a version a few versions back, and maybe getting that working and sticking with that for a little bit before moving on. But what this is doing is it's, the struggles that I'm having are helping me to see how these things are changing, so that when it comes time to make decisions back in the day job where that actually pays me to do those decisions, I've now seen, and I've gone through the pain of what's coming down the pike, and be like, okay, we can better estimate what's going to happen and what's going to have to change and all that stuff. So all this, even though I'm doing this as a hobby, it's helping me in the day-to-day working environment as well, to an extent. I mean, we don't have all the same challenges that I'm running into here. For one thing, it has convinced me wholeheartedly to not use Thymeleaf. Don't get me wrong, Thymeleaf is good for what it does, but it's also a complete pain in the butt. Like it just kind of, it's very muddy. And Thymeleaf is the library that is handling the stuff that you're seeing on the screen here, like everything that's in braces and the pH field and all that stuff. It's basically the view controller, the view renderer, as it's often called, where it's reading all this. Prior to this going out to the HTML that I've written here is not the HTML that ends up in the browser. This is the before, and then Thymeleaf goes through and parses all this out and then generates the actual real HTML, which then goes out to the browser, and that's what we actually see when we look in the inspect tool on the browser, and all that stuff is that stuff. You don't see the Thymeleaf stuff. And the idea behind having a view renderer like that is that you can, HTML doesn't give you the ability to do dynamicism. I don't know what the correct word is there, that you kind of need. So for instance, you're looking at the select option here, right? In order to write that out in HTML, you have to write out every single option that you want people to be able to select. Well, if you have 500 options for people to select, that could be pretty tedious. And then also you'd have to keep constantly updating that in multiple places every time you have more values that you want to update. This way here, the view parser can say, okay, you write it once here, and then if you have more values later on that you have to add to it, you add them in the back end, and then they'll automatically reflect here on the front end. So you're essentially trying to manage the change to where you're reducing the scope of that change down to as small as you can, so you're not, you're able to better keep up your agility and move faster when you're changing things. Now, came to a point about a year or two ago where at my day job, we're using a different view parser. We're using Velocity, which I've used a little bit in this project as well for the email templates. And we were using that for just our HTML rendering and stuff. And it looks on the surface very similar, but it's pretty powerful too. But we were looking at, like, do we continue using this or do we move off of something else? Because it was kind of it hadn't been updated in years, and it was kind of kicked out of the Spring ecosystem. We had like this, we had to go through hoops to kind of make it work, you know, have an adapter so it would work with the newest version of Spring and all that stuff. And so we're like, okay, well, what do the Spring developers recommend for their view parsing? And they were recommending Thymeleaf, which makes total sense because it's complicated for no reason, just like Spring. So, you know, like minds think alike. And so so there was a thought, okay, we could look at this, we could look at there was another one, the name escapes me at the moment, but it was Thymeleaf, and then there's another one that looks very similar, that I can't think of the name of, that we're also like, well, do we do that? Do we do this one? What do we do? And I'm really glad that I chose this for this project, because it has shown me it has shown me that we should not attempt this in the day job. It has shown me the error of this way of doing things, and like the way Velocity does things just makes life so much nicer. It may not be pure HTML, in the sense that like they think that this is pure HTML, but it's easier to debug. It's easier to just do everything. You know, things actually make sense when you use that versus this one where everything kind of just runs together, you know, into one thing. So you don't have to jump through ridiculous hoops to get to variables and stuff. So anyway, my long rambles aside, we've taken in the client name, we've taken in the authentication methods and the grant types. And then what was the next one here? I think the URIs, the redirect URI and the logout redirect URI. So these are just going to be text fields. So where's this guy? Yeah, redirect URIs and post logout redirect URIs. And I'm only going to accept, like I said, I'm only going to accept one in here. Well, I guess if they were to put a comma and do multiples, we would accept multiples, but I'm not going to, A, I'm not going to stop it, and B, I'm not going to promote it. So we'll just leave it be as is. So we'll say redirect URIs. Actually, I need to copy this guy. Copy paste the client name here and 2 more inputs. This one will not be required. This one will be. This will be text redirect URI. Logout redirect URI. And over here, direct URIs. Go there. And there. Oops. And this is a max length of 1,000. All right, and then the other one, this guy. already got that in there. ID is that. This is not required. Next length is 1,000. Okay. Alright, good. So those are in there now. And then, so let me actually put the text in here. Text redirect URI. And text log out. Redirect URI. And then we need to do the list of scope. So I gotta grab. So I have a scopes enum, don't I? Believe. Yeah, API scopes. That's good. It's already got all the stuff in it that I need. With names and descriptions. So the thing is, I would like a list of all of them. So in order to do that, so I guess it would be public static list APIs scope. As a list. So, API. Scopes values. Well, that works because that's an array. I do arrays. Nope, that's the one I want. Arrays. As list, fixed size list backed by the specified array. As list. Cool, that works. That works. That works surprisingly well there. All right, so then I can just say model add attribute scopes PI scopes dot as list. Sweet. Then I can just deal with it as a list. Oh, I wonder. Is it important that I put it in alphabetical order? I don't think so. I think it's important that I keep it in the order that I kind of have it in. Because I've kind of ordered it in the way that I think makes the most sense. I'm going to kind of leave it that way for now. All right, so we've added scopes there. So then, right, we need a we can't use this mojo. I need a model. So it's gonna have to be register client model. And then front end controller developer new package model and we'll call it X registered client model. Superclass is X registered client mojo, and it's serializable if the other one already isn't. I think the other one is serializable already. I'm not going to do that. Finish. Yep, it is serializable. Okay, and then the only thing we need to add here is private list I guess it'll be a list of strings. String goat or like goats. Okay. Hex registered client model. That's what we want to do here. Hex registered client model. That. I'm gonna change these. Model. Oh, and then in the model, we'll put a, do I want to do it in the model? Yeah, I guess it doesn't hurt to put it in here. I mean, one way or the other, I'm going to have to process it. Because it doesn't matter exactly where it goes, but I could put it in here. Although that means the model will have to bring in... I'll have to bring in Apache Commons into the model. No, you know what? I'm not going to put that in the model. I'll do it outside of it. So all we need to do is convert the list of scopes back to a... I mean, there's nothing that's... I could use just the Java, built-in Java stuff. No, I'm going to use Apache Commons for it, because I use it everywhere else, so... Alright, we'll do that. The client model... We don't have to worry about that until we go to save it anyway, so... Right now, it's more important that this comes back as is. There's errors. That's the one thing I don't have right now is the validation on it. I'll have to do that. But anyway, there's the scopes. Let's get the UI looking halfway decent before we worry about validation right now. For the scopes I have scope name lookup and description lookup. And we have the actual toString on it. So okay. I see what I'm doing there. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have a bunch of checkboxes with some descriptions and stuff in them. So we're gonna come over here. And I guess... I guess it'll be... If I wanted to do a bunch of checkboxes, I suppose it would be a dummy loop thing. I forget the finally where's that at? I want to do Literals link each. Oh, here is it, map. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Keep iteration status. time leaf each what do I have here? Input. Oh, I guess that's true. I could put the th each on the input, and it'll repeat the input tag. Okay, that's true. I could do that, or probably should do that. So input. What's there's a checkbox class to use. Okay, they have it as form check input. The form check and then the form check input. Form check label. Which makes the timely stuff a little bit weird then. Yeah, I gotta pull that out there because it's gonna be input and label. So there's a meta tag, right? Yeah, th block is it, right? Yeah, there we go. That's what I need. Th block. Okay. Because I kind of thought that. This is form check. Th block. Each. For each scope in. What did I call it over here? Scopes. For each scope, it's scopes. Do that. Input type equals checkbox. Name is, what's the name over? Can I close that? Damn it. model. Selected scopes is the name. Actually, I don't need to put a name there. I got field, right? Yeah. I think I have the field. It'll automatically fill in the name. So that's really just each field. And that, I do need to change this to the registered client model. We change that name there. And then, yeah. Okay, I don't think there's going to be errors for this field, so I'm not going to worry about the error stuff. Selected scopes. Right, pH field. pH value would be scope.name, I think. Yes, I think that would be it because it's an enumeration. Scope.name, and then well, that's good, but that's all I need. The TH, I don't need TH text here. And then I want label for how does that work? How do they do that? Text. No, I need the current property. Odd. That's variable. I don't know if that's what I want. What I need is the I know what I can do. I can make the ID. So I'll say, each ID is scope.name, dash. And be no, the scope of that name is going to be unique. It's the enumeration, so really I just need scope name and then dash checkbox something. Right. And then so the label 4 would be the same thing. Scope name dash checkbox. I need a class up here. Was form check input, form check label. Yeah, form check input, form check label. Okay, and this one would then, oh, that ph4. And then the label itself would be I put the description underneath it, so it'll be ph text $, scope dot, and then what was the scope name lookup? And that's really a lookup into the kernel strings. I'll wrap that like that. Okay. And then I guess all and this would be scope that scope description lookup. Just description lookup. Okay. And again, this goes to the externalized strings. No, we can see what this looks like. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is going to be correct or not. Like, I think, I'm pretty sure a single pipe is a append in Time Leaf, but I'm not. We'll find out in a second here. When it blows up spectacularly. Alright. We're here. Again. Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense to log in again. I've not seen a Tomcat server in a while. Yeah. They're still around. Still around. They are still around here. User 1. Copy. To remember me on for right now. See how that works. Okay. So applications. Register new. Huh. Not actually showing. Oh, there is an error. What do we got here? Let me put this properties back out of here so I can see full error message. Could not parse as expression. Okay. So is that not how they do or in Time Leaf? Criteria. Oh, concatenation is... Oh, they just use plus for it. Oh, okay. That makes some semblance of sense, I guess. So... Plus... Plus, and... Save that. See what we got here. Okay. That's kind of weird that it's not lining up. Oh wait, where did I put the Oh, that's why. Hang on. I know that's doing that. Move the block outside the div. And this. Oops. There we go. Yes. Yes, Harry, this is the hobby live streaming service that I'm kind of playing around with, kind of trying to make work. Still very, very, very early stages. Doing mostly just the initial authorization stuff, authentication. Right now, like I have the website authentication done, but what I'm working on now is third-party access to APIs, which will go through OAuth and all that stuff. So that's kind of what I've got the OAuth piece in there. And I'm trying to make it so, trying to integrate the OAuth piece right now where developers can log in, go on a dashboard and say, hey, I want to add an application, and then here's all my details of my application. You know, I'm going to authenticate with, refresh tokens. I'm gonna do basic, header level, off and all that stuff, and then I spit their client secret out at them and all that stuff. And then they can kind of manage their apps from this page, kind of, sort of. This is like the new page, and then it goes back to like a view, the older apps that they have. So just getting that kind of together. I've got the basics of the OAuth stuff working. If I just manually put all the data into the database. So this is now trying to make it so it's, you can actually put that stuff into the database via UI right now. So I'm getting that all together because I want to also, my goal is to kind of have the like this part of the MVP of this site is going to be making sure that we have mobile, like making sure we have a mobile app, because those are insanely popular. And also like any other apps that I want along the way, like, like a Roku app or something like that, or an Amazon Fire Stick app or something like that. Just kind of try to keep them in lockstep with everything else that's going on, so they don't get like left behind. And I've never done any mobile stuff before, so this is going to be a trip and a half. A real trip and a half. So right now I'm just getting the foundations of the authentication and registering those apps and all that stuff in place, and then once I have this developer side, and then on the user side, be able to kind of remove or manage the applications that are attached to it and all that stuff. You never had to create your own OAuth refresh tokens, scopes. If you use these kind of servers, have never made your own. Yeah, it's and I'm not really, like, I'm using a framework to do the actual communications and stuff. But I am managing what's weird is like the framework itself is set up to really have you go to like a Google authenticator or something like that, Google or Microsoft or one of those. And then I'm just kind of the redheaded stepchild over here trying to actually make it come to me and me be the source of truth. So that's been a challenge to get it to like act as a server rather than as a client to another server. But it's so far so good. I was able to like test it with Postman, and it seemed to initially work. This is kind of the proof here. If I can get all this UI together, then and have it also work in, be able to enter it into the UI and then be able to put that same stuff into Postman and have it just work and be able to access API calls, then we're in business, so to speak. So we'll see how it goes here. But it's a long it's a long haul. All things considered, I'd rather be doing some of the more fun stuff, like having a chat, like doing the chat mechanisms, or at some point I gotta actually make some progress with the video ingest and all that. Which I wouldn't necessarily call the video ingest the fun part, but it's a part that's kind of necessary. All things considered. Alright, so I got that saved. So I refresh here. Better, but not quite what I was going for. Let's do... Does Bootstrap have something for small text? Text body secondary, but that's just going to change the weight of it, right? I do that. What do I get? I mean, we're getting there, but I want this on the next line is what I'm really getting at. So do they have something? I mean, I can just put a line break there, but for some reason that worries me that it's going to not look right. Oh, I guess I could wrap it in a paragraph like they have here. That's probably the better way to do it. So I go E and that. Okay, that's more like it. Gotta lay all the groundwork. This is a glorified front-end developer that occasionally builds integrations when your work needs something building quickly. Hey, you know what? I wish I worked with more front-end developers, honestly. Because there's far too many companies that just don't hire them that I've worked for. Because I'm considered full stack, so I do everything, but not necessarily well. And it would be great if I could just like I hate CSS. I hate some of that stuff on the front end. And it'd be really great if we had like a front end developer that was just like could just do that stuff and just make it like, you know, like user interfaces are, you get kind of caught up in things that sort of work but aren't optimal, you know? And so you end up with, when developers do things, you end up with a lot of buttons, knobs, and switches. Because, you know, you might want to do this, you might want to do that. And it's really nice to have like someone who's got a taste for user experience to kind of come in and be like, what if we kind of didn't pepper this page with all this stuff? What if we kind of shuffled some of the stuff around? And, you know, I wish we had more of that. I've only worked for 2 companies in my 20 years where we've had dedicated UI, either a dedicated UI developer or a dedicated UI team. And I've worked for mostly small places, although I have a mixture of both. And the dedicated UI team was for the larger company I worked for that doesn't exist in any appreciable form anymore. And that was nice because you could just kind of like they embedded themselves with us during sprints. Like we'd have 1 or 2 of them with us, and then they could listen to all the requirements and basically come up with a page that looks the way they want it to, but isn't actually wired up yet, and then we just come in and wire it up to the back end, which was really nice. And there was a little bit, you know, there's give and take, there's back and forth. And then the one small company I worked for that had a UI guy, that was really great because we were doing digital signage, so animated stuff in the browser, and you know, kicking off like animations and CSS animations and transitions and sounds and videos and all that stuff. And it was so nice to have someone else just do all the CSS for that, because that was a nightmare and a half. Made yourself the middle ground, being the UX designer that actually knows how React front-end frameworks work. Figma designs actually are possible and possible. Cool. Yeah, that's good. That is good stuff, because I mean, there's things that I don't particularly like, that there are trends that we're going in that I don't particularly like. Like, I understand why people want MVC frameworks in the browser, but I'm more of a, like, why don't we just leave that on the server side kind of guy and just let the browser be, you know, for, you know, first mile validation, because we'll still need to do the validation in the back end anyway. You know, do the first mile validation and the pretty stuff, you know, the let's move this thing around, let's move that thing around. Having it be the full model view controller tends to turn me off a bit. I understand why they're going for that kind of thing, but I don't know. I'm still not a convert to that line of thinking, because I think another part of our company is using, the company I work for now, I think another part of the company is using React. Was it React or was it Angular? I think it's React. And they're trying to push that be the norm for the entire company. And on our side of the fence, we're using the Spring MVC. So we're doing all our MVC stuff on the server, and then the front end is just jQuery and plain JavaScript, with Bootstrap to do this CSS stuff. And so we're very resistant to like that wave coming through and being like, no, all that stuff you're doing in the server now, yeah, no, push all that down to the browser, where you have no idea what kind of hardware you're running on, and can't guarantee any performance and all that stuff. But I you know, a lot of that is just my old man fear, I guess. My old man yelling at the clouds kind of thing. You know, the winds of change have arrived, you know, and I'm just kind of not entirely on board. Also, thank you for the follow. I still can't get, I don't know what's going on with Pixel Chat, but I still can't get the alerts to work. I think hopefully it popped up on the screen, but I still, like, I have the literal window open, and I've tested it, and it will test correctly with the alerts going off, the audio alerts. But when it happens in real time, it doesn't do anything, which is just really annoying. I don't know why that is. I need Kik to have a real API so Mix It Up app can come in and do its thing. I know Shin is using Caster Labs. I wonder if the alerts and stuff work. I don't know. Do they have alert? You only graduated in 2018, so the only web front-end design pattern you had experience of. Yeah, no, I get it. It's the new wave of stuff. I mean, that's, and I understand that we got a lot of young blood coming in, and they're like, "Hey, we should do it this way, we should do it that way," and they're not wrong. They're not wrong for wanting it. It's just the old guys like me need to be we need to be led to that same path, down that path, and be shown the benefits of it, because a lot of the benefits sound like things that we already have in place, you know. Oh, you use the Caster Labs alerts, Shin? Do they have audio alerts and stuff too? Does that actually work? Like, can you hear them, or they just go out on the stream and that's it? Because Pixel Chat's not working for me. Like, it's working on the stream, it's showing the things on the stream, but it's not running the alerts. And I spent a whole 10 minutes downloading those Star Trek alerts. At the time you hosted yesterday? Okay. Yeah, I think I might switch over to Caster Labs. Yeah. Oh, they got a Linux port of it too? Interesting. Interesting. Okay, Shin. Yeah, it's yeah, I'm just annoyed that, like, because if I test, hey, how's it going? See some software dev challenge on Kick though. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's hard. Like, I've been like cruising the software dev stuff on Kick for a little bit, and it's hard to find people on here that aren't just like either not paying attention, or they're just playing music, or you know, they're live for 72 hours and there's just a static screen and stuff. You know? Hey, LCYX, how do you pronounce that? Is that Lysix, or is it just LC, or how's that? Lix. Okay, thank you. Well, welcome in, Lix. Yeah, I've been considering looking at Caster Labs, because I've been trying to use Pixel Chat, and it works, but the alerts don't actually alert. And you know, literally, I have the window open for it, and if I go and watch this nonsense. If I go under the alert here and I test it, Moopsie. It goes off. It actually went off twice, which is good, right? But when someone actually follows, it's not sending the alert off, and it's just really ticking me off. So I need something else, because this is getting annoying. Pixel Chat doesn't support alerts. Well, that's weird, because it does actually. I thought it actually did show the alerts on screen. Maybe it wasn't showing them on screen. I don't know. It just wasn't sending the actual audio. I don't know. It's weird. It requires auth to access that in the Kick API, and you can't blame Pixel for not making you authenticate without proper OAuth. Ah, I gotcha. I gotcha. So then does that work on Caster Labs because I'm running an actual application? And you're like reading the chat that way? And you're just launching the audio from my local machine instead of over the cloud? It's the audio that I'm really like interested in, because half the time people are following and I don't realize it, and for some reason Botrix isn't like welcoming people anymore either, even though I have that turned on too. Yes, we have a username password field. We do auth how kick normal. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch. Because you got the chatbot too, so I can toss Botrix out as well. Plus, you've got the integration with YouTube and everything, right? You integrate with YouTube, don't you? Am I going crazy? Where's my mouse cursor? Let's play where my mouse cursor is. Cool. Where did you go? Where did my mouse cursor go? It's on one of 3 computers right now. I have no idea which one. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. I'm back. Come back to me. Here we go. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, you do have YouTube. KVM moment. I know. I'm using Barrier for my software KVM because it goes across Windows and Linux, and sometimes my mouse just flies away. It just flies away. I can't find it. I'm like, where did you go? Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Well, on the Windows side of things, I was using oh God, what was the name of it? Mouse Without Borders, and that works really well on Windows. But when you try to bring Linux into it, it was like it didn't work at all. So I was like, I need something that works across things. You start your own program to do it? Oh, to do the software KVM? It's so good though, right? So your laptop had issues with it? Yeah. I mean, I have a hardware KVM too, but the software one is so much better because you can share your clipboard between computers and stuff, and it's just great. Yeah. Uninput? Wait, did I spell that right? Uninput. Huh. Okay, that's no. Let's wait. E. There we go. Oh, you implemented in Java too. Oh, man of my own brain here. Java 11 KVM switch. Interesting. Caster Labs is written in Java too. You're just buttering me up now. I mean, you've made it onto my Christmas card list at this point. You want to get slide you a jar? I'll take a look at it. Take a look at it. No biggie. You got a palm here. I can build it probably. What are you pulling in? Okay, for the launcher, Jetpack, yeah. Lombok. That's the one thing I haven't dug into yet. I probably should do that at some point. I'm using Eclipse for my ID, so I just like generate setters and getters and I don't care, but you know, I can I can see why people like that, especially if you don't want to use an IDE, if you want to use like a regular text editor. Lombok makes life so much easier. You also use a clip. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I've looked at it a little bit. But I guess my muscle memory is just such that everything that Lombok does for me, I just kind of do without even thinking. Like I get it. Like the like this here, the private static final logger, blah 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 blah. You can just do that as an @logger thing. So I get it, but I'm like, as soon as I create a controller, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Without even thinking, I've already got the private static final logger. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's just after 20 years of muscle memory, you're just like, whatever. File cleanliness, yeah, I get that. Yeah, getter and setter are fantastic. Yeah. Like I said, I just like, I go and I just go generate getter and setter. Be like, we have these, but I could see like having @getter and @setter is much better because then you don't have all these down here to worry about. So I get it. It does make it cleaner in that everything's just right there. Nothing weird is going on. Like there's no swapping going on down here or anything like that. But yeah. At some point maybe I'll give in and go to Lombok route. I don't think at the day job, I don't think I can convince the other developers to do it though. I had a hell of a time convincing the head developer to do annotations for Spring, like our @controller annotations and stuff like that, because he was mapping everything in the XML, in the Spring XML, and to be fair, the Spring XML is still pretty good for some things. Like if you just want to do a map or something and you don't feel like writing a class for it, but I was like, yeah, they don't really, the documentation for the XML stuff isn't around anymore. We should probably start using annotations. And so I finally got him to kind of give in a little bit there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did look at the Lombok stuff and realized it did need a plugin for Eclipse, but that's fine. That's fine. I think that's probably the hardest sell that I would need for the devs at my day job, because we have, like, I'm the only one that uses Eclipse. We have another dev that uses IntelliJ, which usually has all the plugins you'd ever want anyway. That's kind of like standard now. But we do have like a couple who are still using NetBeans. So yeah. Guesser Labs, caffeinated. Oh, that's your GitHub? Caffeinated. Okay, yeah. Cool. Cool. Last week. Man, busy. Super busy, aren't you? What do you got going on here? Oh, somebody who actually tags stuff. That is. You have releases too? Yep. That's fantastic. So nice to see someone that's like organized for change. Having worked on the Glimish code and not seeing any tags or releases or anything, that used to piss me off so much. do a thing here and there. You have an action that builds and deploys the CDN when you create a release. Oh, is that GitHub action? Yeah, I haven't looked at the GitHub actions yet. We're actually at the day job. We are moving to GitHub. The whole company's moving to GitHub, private repos and stuff. So I'm gonna have to be an expert at that sooner rather than later. I see. Please deploy. Yeah. Yeah, I was very, I have, whatchamacallit, I was so proud of myself that I got freaking Dependabot working. I didn't have to do, it wasn't hard to get it working, but I was like, oh, let me see if I get this. I have Circle CI too, because it was just a thing, but, yeah, I'm a little bit behind on my Dependabot things too. But this, like stuff like this is just so fantastic. Because as it stands right now, I do this manually in the day job. Like whenever we move on to a new release, I'm like the one going through all the palms and being like, all right, what version are we up to now? What's all the change logs looking like and all that stuff. Yeah. Things I've decided to go full GitHub. I was looking at that too. I don't actually have any problems with Circle CI right now. They did when I started using them. They did like pepper me with emails and stuff, which I'm not a fan of. But they've quieted down a bit, and they've been working all right. This I also tried the JIT CI thing, which works is pretty interesting in how it operates too. Kind of cool, where it will look at all your commits by your commitment thing and just like publish that as a Maven source that you can pull down and stuff like that. Or Jetpack. Oh, did something happened to them? Are they not a thing anymore? Did I miss something? Or did they get bought out by somebody? They haven't been updating anything? Oh, that's the... Oh yeah, look at this. They got a lot of... They're at 96% up. Well, overall they're 99. But yeah. Huh. Having too many issues and haven't been able to release our SDK through them because their containers are like Ubuntu 16. Oh, really? They can't run new. Wow. Ubuntu 16. Holy hell, man. I'm at... the hell am I at? I'm at the 2204 LTS. Holy hell. 16. Jesus. The build step fails and Jetpack gives up. I gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I had them building stuff for a little bit, and it was, it was working, but the Circle CI stuff was a little more mature? Question mark, I guess is what I would say. Like if I look here, like it has just more information and stuff. Apparently my build is trending downward. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, Circle's UI is pretty good, especially when when the build fails, they give you the full details like right there. Like here's what happened and here's what's going on and all that. Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Um, my only complaint right now about GitHub though is I know the projects thing is new still, but it's kind of clunky compared to um like other sites that I've seen. Although they seem to be kind of improving it a little bit here and there, but I don't know. I think they kind of bolted us on top of what they had, and I don't know. Yeah, Trello. That's what I meant. Yeah, like Trello is a little bit nicer UI. And I was debating having all this stuff in Trello, but I was like, if I put it in GitHub, at least it's all in one spot. But yeah, and Jira is Jira is Jira. Jira is Jira is the 700-pound sledgehammer. You know, it's like, sure, it'll get the job done, but man, it'll break a hell of a lot of shit along the way. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Lix. Atlassian knew that Jira sucks, and so they bought Trello. Like, this sucks a little bit less. Your corpo brain hates Jira. Well, I mean, they're like the only one out there doing what they do, which is annoying. You know? Like, there's no one that even comes remotely close to what they do. Right? Making a good product. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about Jira. It's like, Jira is the epitome of sometimes you live long enough to become the enemy. Sometimes you live long enough to see yourself become the corpo in the room, you know? Like, they started out, they were fantastic, and there was a reason why they became number one. But now it's like, I cannot imagine how much, like, yeah, that's what I'm getting at, Lex. It's like, I can't imagine how much legacy crap must live around in Jira now. Because it's not only just like legacy stuff, but they've got plugins out the wazoo for every little thing. Things that don't even exist anymore, they've got plugins for. It's a bit of insanity there. I mean, it's probably the poster child for maybe it's time to start over. You know, maybe it's time to like sunset a whole load of crap and try again. You know. Once you're used to it, it's a very powerful tool, allows you to be the most productive version of yourself. Sure, I'm not debating that. Jira does have, if you're using Jira for its most basic functions, it works fine. You know, it's when you try to do any of the other stuff that it tries to do, like, it's got a whole agile piece to it where it tries to bring in like Kanban boards and all that stuff, and it's like, when you start going down that path with user stories and everything, it starts to really fall apart in your hands. And Confluence, you know what's bad? When GitHub pages are far superior to Confluence. Like, again, back in the day, when you were looking for a wiki, Confluence was the bomb because it did more things than other wikis did, and it's the wiki that survived all the other wikis exploding. But I'll take GitHub Pages any day over Confluence. Like, holy hell, is that a terrible package anymore? Bloat features, exactly. Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is that they... Oh, hey, Deceptus. I see you over there. I'm sorry. I see you over in the other chat, over on Livespace. Yeah, it's like the definition of you know, they put all those features in there to gain mindshare, and now we're like, now that all the other wikis that would have competed with them have gone away, except for maybe MediaWiki, and everybody else has kind of moved away from wikis and back to like Microsoft document server and all that stuff, or whatever the hell it's called. It's just kind of, you can see all the crust around it, and all the things that just kind of need to go away and disappear, and just make it go back to its roots and make it easier to deal with, you know? I'm doing good, Deceptus. I'm doing real good. How are you doing, sir? I know you're taking a little break from streaming. I hope you're doing well. Can't wait for you to get back onto the streaming stuff. And also, thank you so much for that shout out on Twitter. It's the first time I've ever logged into Twitter and I've had the notifications say 20 plus. I've never seen that before in my life, and that was really a surprise. I'm very grateful for the shout out, friendo. But yeah, so yeah, I'm probably going to switch over to Caster Labs here after the stream and just get everything running, because it's yeah, Botrix isn't quite working right. It's working, but it's not quite working, and Pixel Chat's just not working at all for me right now. And I need something that works on YouTube and stuff, and then hopefully we'll see what happens with Livespace. I'm also streaming on Livespace right now. It should work on my Linux machine. Yeah, I would imagine. Although my streaming PC is Windows, so I don't need to download it on here per se. But on the streaming PC, I'll download it, and that's just Windows 10. So if it doesn't, you can run it under Wine. Yeah, yeah. I've got something else running under. What is the name of that thing? It's not Wine. They have something else now that kind of is like a front end to Wine. And I've got Balsamic mockups running on that. Or maybe I didn't. Balsamic wireframes on Linux. Flatpak, that's what it is. Flatpak. I don't know if I don't think I actually, I know I downloaded and installed Flatpak. And Bottle. I don't think I've actually downloaded the one for desktop yet, though. But this, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this runs like a version of wine under the covers. Flatpak does, and then that's how this like Windows stuff would run. So I think that's how that goes. Flatpak. How else? Works? How does that work? We can only ask questions. Huh. The dist format lets you bundle dependencies independently of the OS. Oh, okay. You can bundle wine with it. Ah, I got it. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure. Like, I've heard of Flatpak, but I didn't know exactly what it was. And Flat Hub and stuff. Yeah, I'm on I'm on Plasma KDE KDE 3.5 Plasma. I'm using, so technically it's Ubuntu, but I'm using Kubuntu, which is its lesser known redheaded stepchild. A lot of people are torn on Flatpaks and snaps. Yeah, Ubuntu likes its snaps. And a lot of people I've seen saying they like Flatpak. Yeah. Wobbly Windows is the best KDE feature to exist. I don't have that turned on, I don't think. What's funny is I've got, so this is running, so this is KDE running on Ubuntu or Kubuntu 22 LTS, running on my Surface laptop, Microsoft Surface laptop. So I've got, so I had to download an additional patches for the kernel from a different place to patch in like the touch screen and the trackpad and all that stuff for the Surface and things. All right, how are you? Thank you for hanging by or dropping by and chatting me up. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Use the carrier route. You can stick with Kubuntu on it and see how every machine handles wobbly Windows. Yeah, that was like the big thing. Like, I mean, that was the thing about, like, I've never really liked GNOME because it looked too much like the Mac. Now, of course, Windows 11 is starting to take on like Mac-like appearances and stuff. I've always liked the Windows 2000, Windows 98 kind of look and feel. Windows 98 maybe not so much. Windows 98 was a little too candy-coated for me. The Windows 2000 look, actually Windows XP was candy-coated. The Windows 2000 look was really the one I really liked it the most. But, well, that's I think why GNOME still is so popular, is because you're using it usually on a touch screen. You know what I mean? And that's also why KDE went with the whole Plasma thing, but to the detriment of KDE, I feel like, is they spent a lot of time just being completely broken until they finally got Plasma working to the point where it works now. But yeah. Without sacrificing usability like how Windows 8 did. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Windows 8 was that's one of those things you wonder what they were thinking, right? It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a tablet mode that's completely different from our desktop mode, and like, are you sure you want to go that route? Are you really sure you want to do that? That doesn't sound like a very good idea. Have you thought this through? Oh, man. Yeah, that's true. I had looked at a little bit at the UWP stuff, and it looked very good. Microsoft is kind of, I wouldn't say they've kind of moved away from it, but they've deprecated some of it. Because I was looking at it for like Windows, because thinking about the live streaming service that I'm writing. I was like, oh, it'd be nice if I could, should I write like a UWP app that's, in Java, that compiles down to like a UWP thing, and have it work on the Xbox, and they don't quite do that anymore. WinRT APIs became UWP. Yeah. I think last I looked at it, they have some other thing they're calling it now. UWP app for Xbox, I think. Is this what they? Maybe I was thinking of something else. Maybe it's the I must be thinking of something else. Maybe it was like the X. I forget what it was. It was still UWP. Our WinRT was the old name. Make a PWA as an MVP. You can double that up as your web UI and save yourself some development time while you build the important stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, I haven't done any, like, one of the things I want to make sure that I'm doing, and this is why I'm working on the OAuth stuff right now for the API, is I want to make sure that part of my MVP is the mobile app. And I've not done any mobile development before. And I was looking at Flutter to do mobile development, and then I've had some suggestions of just like, why don't you use something akin to like an Electron app, but not Electron, but something like Electron. And I'm kind of like, maybe that's not a bad idea, How familiar am I with web development? I'm considered a full stack developer, so I'm familiar enough to to do most things. I don't necessarily like doing most things on the web side of things, on the UI side of things. CSS is my weakest thing. But yeah, I'm familiar enough with like JavaScript and jQuery. I haven't used any frameworks like React or anything like that. I tried Tailwind, and I did not like it. I did not like it at all, which is why I punted and went back to Bootstrap. Because having 92 classes on every, like having to copy paste 92 classes onto every HTML tag was just driving me insane. SvelteKit, that's what somebody had said. In Vue or React. That's what someone had mentioned. But is this the about invite? Right. what you're starting to use now. Yeah, Jazz. So thanks a lot for diving me out, website. That's not a privacy concern or anything. So read the docs. Interactive tutorial. Building web applications like how you use interface, components. So does this do? Does this do mobile and stuff? Is this like? So I guess this is my question. Is this like Electron where you can have it run as a fat app and as a mobile app? Because for me, I don't really plan on changing the UI framework that I'm using. Like I'm using Spring MVC right now to do all my UI stuff. So I don't necessarily plan on changing the website itself, but for like a mobile app and things like that, and maybe, you know, a television app and things like that, I could be having a different thing. Oh, counter, not container. Okay. Good. Kernel none. Yeah, I mean, handle click scout. Yeah, like I said, I'm not necessarily looking for this for the website, but if this was something that would work well, like in a mobile thing, and I don't mean mobile browser, I mean like a mobile app, that might be a thing. The data binding is super simple. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing here, less than instance. This app. Oh. So does that? Let me see here. Yeah. No, I see what they're getting at. But again, this is all like in browser stuff. I'm not necessarily on board with. Remember too, I'm an old school, so it takes me a while to warm up to something. Huh. For mobile, React Native is what you use at the moment. Do I have a Discord or anything? I do. It's not. I don't have any I don't have any open channels on it though. So I guess it's something I should do at some point. I didn't put like any general chat channels in my Discord because I didn't feel like having the time to to maintain it, to manage it. But I guess I should do that at some point here because you're not the first person to ask me. So I do have Discord, but not quite on there. I think did I wire that up on my website? Memory elite. TV/Discord. Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah, you can go to let me put it on here. Where's my cursor? Cursor? Hello? There you are. So that link will redirect you to the Discord that I have open, but again, there's no like open channels on there. But if you want to direct message me or something like that, you should be able to. Socket for website PWA. Modern TVs use PWAs. Expo for mobile and native. Oh, Expo. Okay. I was looking at Flutter, and I don't know that I could really like Flutter that much. I don't mind. See, this part I don't mind because if I can test the mobile app in the browser and with some kind of accuracy, that's pretty cool. Makes life a little bit easier. Flash screen. Flash. Come on, get to the good part. Stop chatting. Huh. Oh, it'll compile the app and reload on your device at real time. Oh. Oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll look at this. Because, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was looking at Flutter and stuff, and Flutter is like Flutter kind of requires you to pretty much to learn Go and stuff, and I don't have any problems with learning, or not Go, Dart. And I don't necessarily have any problems learning Dart or anything, or learning a new language, but if I can just do something in JavaScript and have it look decent and have it work well on both Android and iOS, given that I have no way of testing iOS, that would be fantastic. And this looks like it. Eons with React Native and capacitor. We've never actually got those working. Super easy to dive into. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that idea. I really do. Like if all I was doing was like an Android app, I would just do it in Java and call it a day. But those darn Apple people, they outnumber the Android people. Use this Figma template. Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at this because I might try this out as my first foray. What does it do here? Devices functionality. Okay. React Native. This is ultimately React Native then that's running? I mean, this might be my introduction to React Native then, I guess. Ultimately, yes. If you're not afraid of Hackintoshing, you can install Xcode and use the iOS device simulator to test the app. Yeah, there's I think there's also I want to say there's a website that you can pay for that has like an iOS simulator on it too. But yeah, I don't know. I this is one of those things where on the one hand, I kind of care that it works in iOS. On the other hand, I kind of don't care. like I've got a bunch of iOS people whining and be like, yeah, well, just, that's what you get for buying Apple products. But, there probably is a point where I have to do some due diligence there with that. Yeah, no, I will not allow any Apple products in this house. None whatsoever. Everyone must leave their iPhones on the front step. Whenever my brother comes over and he's got his iPhone, I'm like, that goes outside in the trash can. There shall be no there shall be no Apple devices within this confines. Oh man. Hides MacBook Pro in shame. And to be fair, my previous job I did have to work on a Mac. All the developers had Macs. And we were writing oh god, we were writing Ruby on Rails stuff on the Mac, and our Jenkins server, continuous integration server, was running on a little Apple like a little Apple box thingy, set-top box thingy. Oh god, Rails is exactly correct. Oh god, Rails is exactly correct. Yes. I did that for a year. So I was like, you know what? I've done Java for pretty much all of my career. We're going on 20 years now. And maybe I should branch out a little bit. And so they're like, how about Ruby on Rails? Like, oh, all right. I mean, it's it's the hot thing. At least it was at the time. I was like, all right. Why not? Why not get paid to learn a new language? And all I can say about that is, unless you are the person who was there at ground zero developing a project, Rails sucks. Like when you try to come onto a project that's been using Rails for like a year or more, it's horrible because like, you know, people used to complain about Java and how it's like jar hell. You have all these jar files coming down, all these libraries. My goodness, Rails was just gem hell out the wazoo. Holy hell. Like, you know, you'd open up a class in RubyMine and there'd be nothing highlighted because it uses a completely different, you know, DSL than everything else, because some gem, Lord knows which gem it is, out of the 52 you got in there, allows you to just write something that's completely different from all the other Ruby code everywhere else in the system. And you're like, well, okay, this would be okay if I could if I could trace it back to whatever gem introduced it, so that I could then look up the documentation. Oh, but friends, you finally trace it back to that gem and you go look at the documentation and you realize, A, there is none. It's just one little GitHub page. And B, it was written by some college freshman 4 years ago who has never updated it since then. And it was just kind of a monkey patch to get around something that Rails didn't do, which was a lot of things like, you know, internationalization and stuff like that. Kind of big things. And you're like, oh, this multi-million-dollar code base that we're working on is relying on this little patched thing that somebody wrote on their free time, some college kid wrote and has long since abandoned. It's like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I just saw it come through on my Restream chat there. Let's see if I can bring that in here. Dell laptop running Mac OS Big Sur. Oh, nice, I guess. Let's see if that copy works. Okay, let's play. Where did my mouse cursor go? Gonna be here somewhere. I know it. I can feel it. There it is. Hello. Half of the hardware doesn't work right. Let me see. Oh, it brought... That's hilarious. I wonder if this actually... Oh, I gotta log in. Crap. I copied the link and it's like... It sent me a link to Restream chat, not the link you put there. That's hilarious. Let me copy this manually. Oh, fun times. Oop, away. Not now. Oh, there you go. Nice old Dell. Old Dell doing it. That's good. That's good stuff. Hey, Assassin, welcome. If the hardware doesn't work right, but it's most certainly Mac OS. Well, I mean, there's a debate as to whether the hardware would work right on a real Mac hardware. I'm sorry, it's just I have to take shots at it. I can't help myself. Not much, just chilling, all good. How about me? I'm doing pretty good. Just kind of hanging out, chatting up, and doing a little bit of code here and there. Not in any rush to do anything. Looking at ideas on how to do some mobile development without without getting a whole bunch of gray hair in the process of doing it. And this looks actually pretty good. I might learn this on stream and just start playing around with it once I get past the OAuth stuff that I'm doing now, because this looks really good. I really want to figure this one out. Oh, well, thank you, Lix. That is fantastic. Yeah, I'm like I said, all this is kind of just for fun. Good luck with that. Yeah, all this is just me just kind of having fun, and just it's an excuse for me to have like almost a just chatting stream, but still have something to do. You know what I mean? Like I've never been able to just do a just chatting stream because I'm not good at coming up with topics and leading conversations. But if I can like write some code, answer some questions, you know, ask some questions and all that stuff, it's a lot better for me, you know? You understand? You're the same? Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, that's the thing. Like I've wanted, like on YouTube, I used to do a weekly news thing where I'd like look at gaming news and stuff. But it sucked. It was just terrible. Because I just couldn't, I don't have, you know, I can't lead a conversation. I need someone to bounce off of. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I can keep things on topic, but I can't really, you know, march to my own beat. So it's nice to have like something to do, and then, you know, and then you can take breaks and kind of go off the rails a little bit and then come back and all that stuff. Gray hairs will come doing this though. Maybe. But like I said, I'm not in any rush, and I'm not trying to, as much as I want to produce something that can be used as a live streaming site as an alternative, I don't have any plans myself to run the site. So I'm kind of in that spot where I'm like, I could kind of push it out there and be like, here you go, if somebody wants to do it, there it is, you know? Expo's actually pretty good about being easy as long as you can deal with the functional code paradigms. I could probably deal with them. I could probably deal with them. You know, like I said, I did some Ruby, so I'm not completely unfamiliar with functional programming, even though I do mostly object-oriented stuff. So it's not bad. And of course, I started out in college with C, you know, and all that stuff. So it's been a while, but I can probably muddle my way through most things and figure it out. And then go full PWA, write once and call it a day. Yeah, that's I would like to. Mostly the reason I want to do that, like I want to try to reduce the number of projects, because again, this whole thing's going to be open source. It is open source. It is out on GitHub. And my hope is that if I can keep it, the number of projects minimal, other people can just come in and just, if they want to, they can just submit pull requests and all that stuff. And I can just kind of, it's a lot easier to just manage, you know? My ideal thing would be everything to be in Java, because then I'm not asking people to learn this language and that language and this language and that language. But I mean, React is JavaScript, so it's close enough. So I'm not too put off by that. But that was like kind of one of my problems with the way that, not to pick on Glimish, but the way that Glimish was being managed was that you had like all the Elixir code But then the back end that did all the video server stuff was, was Rust, or it was, the mobile stuff was in Flutter, right? And it was like you had all these different languages, and so it wasn't easy for someone like me who doesn't know those other things to just kind of move from one thing to the other. I was kind of stuck in that one bucket, and if I wanted to learn the other things, I'd have to spend some time really getting spun up on it and all that stuff. So it was I would like to, wherever possible, try to stick as close to one or two languages as possible, so that there is mobility between those individual pieces. Which was a little bit of a mess. It was, it had the, it really needed a good, thorough, refactoring. And some of that was happening. The problem was that it wasn't happening in a way that was conducive to help from others, so it kind of was, it was a little bit of a victim of its own sort of lackadaisical structure, right? Like it really needed governance, and it didn't really have any governance over the code and over the feature set and all that stuff. And so you ended up with these, things just kind of just sitting out there and not being utilized, which sucks. There was a lot of promise there. It just kind of, it really needed someone that had a vision and was willing to put the time in to make sure that everyone was marching to the same drum beat, Caffeine was a nightmare to exist on. I was on caffeine for a while. I was on caffeine for quite some time. In fact, I'm still in their Discord, and my God, does that site, I'm completely beside myself when I know Kessler Labs was originally for caffeine. I remember when you were released for caffeine because you were the only one that had access to the API. I think they published their API for 4 days or something, and then they unpublished it, and then no one had access to it. so Kessler Labs was the only thing you could do for caffeine, I think, right? Oh, you reverse engineered the website. Oh, okay. Because I did see at one point, they did have an API doc that showed up for a little bit. I remember it because they had it linked somewhere, and then that link disappeared at one point. And then there was somebody else. What was interesting about that too was that there were other, I think, people who were trying to write bots for caffeine as well, and they all got shut down or something. I don't know exactly what happened there, but I remember a lot of them got really upset and left. When will caffeine be bigger than Twitch.com? Oh no, man. There was another one. Oh really? That's a thing? Wait, that's a thing. Wait a second. When will caffeine be bigger than Twitch.com? October 22nd, 2024. Oh my god. Oh yeah, this guy. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus H. Christ. Caffeine CEO. Let's see. Caffeine's on track to outpace Twitch. In what? Obscurity? Like, what would you outpace Twitch in? Lack of users? Lack of streamers? I mean, that's basically what they have right now, is a lack of streamers. I mean, they chased everybody away, right? Like, they started out as like, here's all, here's a gaming thing. Like, they had a super relevant concept, right? They had a fat app that tied into an overlay that you could have in your game. You could see your chat in the game for your stream chat as an overlay in your game. It would only show up for you as the streamer. It wouldn't show up for people you're streaming to. And it was a really good concept because a lot of people don't have multiple monitors and be able to swap between the two, or at least a monitor that was big enough that they could have the game plus all their chat on it at the same time and all that stuff. It was great. And it was revolutionary. Like, they were the first ones to do WebRTC, right? Like, they were doing it before anybody else was doing it. And yeah, Fox and Disney gave them like $700 million. They had streams, like sports streams from Fox, that you were allowed to co-stream and stuff. Like they were doing some really good stuff, and then they just kind of had no plan. Right? I feel like their only plan was to get bought out. Their only plan, like, what's the old Silicon Valley adage? There's two types of business plans: growth or retirement. Right? And if you're doing a startup, your startup is either gonna grow to the point where it could be its own multinational corporation, or it's going to grow enough that you can cash out and retire for the rest of your life. Like you can sell it to a bigger company. And it's just like, that's what they've become. They've just become we're trying to get enough growth of our user base that we can then sell ourselves off to God knows who and cash out and leave. And it's just, holy crap, man. Blew the budget, fired their in-house team, realized that was dumb, rebuilt their in-house team, and now you can no longer stream this. Yeah. Yeah, you can stream via don't they have a plug-in for OBS now, right? If I'm not mistaken. But and their site has always been just the worst. Oh, they're restricting who can stream now? Oh, I didn't see that yet. I haven't been in their Discord for a while. I know something was going on because a lot of people were saying goodbye, but I didn't see the latest stuff. But like, oh, they're shutting down their Discord too? Holy shit. Wow. Wow. Really? The budget region, so partner meeting where Caffeine laid off all of their content producers, Cyan partners, and Verify partners. Oh, I didn't know they laid them off right then and there. What was that? April 22nd? Wow. Due to budget reasons and Caffeine's ever-growing user base. Okay, what user base? Provided is also a screenshot of Caffeine's monthly active users metrics from Amplitude, which seem to back up this data. But that can't be right. because the only thing that you can find on caffeine is freaking battle rap. Are there that many people that like battle rap? I mean, maybe there are, but like, really? 27.4 million? 27.4. That cannot be right. That cannot be right. Countdown until rebranding. Yeah, tell me about it, man. That simply cannot be correct. Like, I refuse to believe that those numbers are not fabricated. There's no way. Because you go on Twitter, and the only thing they ever advertise is battle rap. Hell, that was the only thing they would advertise on Discord even, was freaking battle rap. And then I don't. There's just no way that's accurate. It's one of the few people basically got to process every chat event to ever go through a site. There's maybe 5,000 monthly average. Well, see, you know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. They have around 900 million accounts. I know what they're doing. I see what they're doing. So, all of their streams are basically Fox Sports, right? And probably maybe a little overlap with ESPN here with, like, you know, poker and stuff. Watch the video clip if you want to start hemorrhaging blood from your frontal quarterback. Yeah. I won't be able to hear it anyway on this machine because I still haven't gotten the audio working properly. But I will listen to it. I will listen to it later. That's amazing. Oh, see, okay. They got Barstool Sports. I see what's happening. I understand now. So now I understand where those numbers are coming from, because they've got Barstool Sports for their podcasts, and they've signed on all these verified partners, because that's the white check mark. And they've got their Fox stuff, Fox Sports stuff. Yeah, I see what's going on. So I guess, all right, from that perspective, the count of video starts. View count is fake. It's a count of video starts, which happens every 30 minutes while you watch because the CDN goes down constantly. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's the other thing, is their throughput was always kind of, whenever they would have a battle rap thing, everyone's stream would die because they couldn't handle the traffic. I remember that because I was still streaming on there when they brought the battle rap stuff in, and I was streaming that one night that they did their first battle rap thing, and my stream I kept getting the alert that it's going down, it's you know, stuttering, it's all that stuff. I'm like this is ridiculous. The numbers do not make sense. Yeah. I mean, even with the names that they've signed, those numbers don't sound right. Because Twitch has hundreds of millions, right? And you see how many channels Twitch has, and you see how many top channels are on Twitch. And like this one here, 5 million views. right next to 436,000 views, right next to 471,000 views. The only difference is these are 5 days ago and that's 7 days ago. Like 2 days made that much difference? I don't think so. This one 5 days ago, 319,000 views, 306,000 views. Like something's really off. And then you go down into the podcast and like the Barstool Sports, which is a very popular thing, has only got 22,000 views. Right? So that's probably a tiny fraction of their actual audience is watching them over here. I imagine they're probably multi-streaming or something. Because then you got Pardon My Take, which has almost the same amount of views, not more. I've never heard of them before. The Pat Bev podcast is 16,000. You know, it's like something's not quite right on there. And that's the other thing is like they were putting all this stuff up the top. And then when you wanted to see the live streams, the actual live streams, you had to go all the way down. All the way down to where it said community. And the only one live right now is Flash Media Sports Replay. Grappling Jiu-Jitsu. That's literally the only thing live on the site right now. So something's just not. Something doesn't make any sense. Does not make a bit of sense. You know what? Can I log in here? Oh, you know what? I'm probably gonna have to put I have my 2-factor auth turned on. Yeah, I don't feel like digging that out. That's crazy. That's crazy sauce. I don't know. I know that they've had VCs propping them up. But I gotta believe at some point someone wants their money back or wants some money out of it. And I don't know how that's supposed to happen with what they've got. I mean, maybe this is why I'm not a businessman. Maybe I'm just a terrible businessman because I can't wrap my brain around how their investors are actually going to get any kind of money out of it. Because at this point, the only way you're going to get money out of them is to sell them off to another company. And like, who's going to buy them? Like, Twitch isn't going to, like, Amazon's not going to buy them because they don't have anything that Amazon can't get for themselves, right? And who else would have deep enough pockets to buy them? It's weird. Very strange. The only thing I can think is that it's now just a tax write-off at this point, probably. You know? At 700 million is just reducing the tax burden of Disney and Fox. Okay. Cool. Cool. I got this to look halfway decent. I just have to have it save, and then, which isn't a big deal, and I need validations in place here and all that stuff. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. I know it's been a very short stream for my normal Saturday stream, but I got a late start, and I'll be honest, I was like, do I feel like writing code today, or do I feel like playing more Starfield? And I gotta be honest, I was like, I kind of really want to play Starfield right now. But I might end up jumping into Starfield tomorrow for a bit, potentially. We'll see. I'm gonna play it by ear, but we'll definitely be playing that on Monday nights at the usual time, and Tuesday night, and then I think Wednesday and Thursday I'm going to bring back Dragon Quest 11. Try to finish that up as we're going, and then Friday night will still be some coding nights, and Saturday afternoon, probably next Saturday afternoon, hopefully I'll have a longer coding stream, my more normal coding stream anyway. Oh, thanks, Lix. I think I can figure it out. But I will keep you. I will send you a tweet or anything like that if I run into anything that doesn't make any sense. But it looked to me like it was pretty straightforward. So I've used enough of these bots at this point that I think I can probably do it. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'll add you in on Discord as well. So if I have anything there, I'll just like message you. Even respond by email if you're that old. No, I have moved on mostly from email. Email now is just like, ooh, that's a nice coupon. That's mostly email at this point. But yeah, no, I'm definitely I'm gonna probably swap over to Caster Labs, because it's just like, I'm so sick of things not working right. It's a shame too, because I really like the pixel chat, the image that it shows of the what they call the programming image, where it shows like code on your screen. It's like, this person, if username is this person followed, I kind of like that look and feel, since that's, since I do the programming stuff, but I could do without until, it's kind of a little wink wink nudge there. If you can come up with something that looks like a programmer thing, that would be kind of cool. On screen pop up. So when's the telegraph coming? or what did they used to call it in school? The mimeograph machine instead of the copy machine. They do the mimeograph machine. So you had to do the piece of page that was that had all the ink on it, and then they would generate the pages from that. Oh God, I remember those. Oh man. They no longer have telegraph service available. Dude, I'm not that old. Yeah. Nippon telephone and telecommunications in Japanese, and not just NTT in English. Oh man. All right, let's go and commit. Let's put down the server, and I'm going to commit what I got because I'm on a branch right now. So let's do team commit. All kinds of stuff new. It's been a while. More off to API changes and developer dashboard, and that's on there. Cool, we got that out there. So, by the way, about the alert, you can use our SDK and make your own. For configuring the settings, use HTML for the actual alerts. Ooh, okay. Use caffeinated SDK skeleton for what it looks like. Ooh, all right. I might look at that. Because that would be kind of cool to have that alert look like it's generating code on the screen kind of thing. Close that out. And copy the POM and source to your own repo and modify it to your own needs. Okay. Cool beans. I will do that. I will do those things. Let me shut down the database here. And I think we're good there. Let me shut down. One thing I found too, Docker Desktop does not like hibernating. Not like going to sleep. So I usually have to shut it down when I know the computer's going to go to sleep for a bit. Okay, so we're good there, and then I got some homework to do after the stream here, friends. But I am going to say, if my live streaming site ever becomes big and create my own events in Kessler Labs and trigger the alerts and widgets that way. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, I would love to be, like, honestly, I want to get to the point where, I can do fun stuff again. Because right now, like, the foundational stuff that I'm kind of mired in is annoying. It's necessary but annoying, and I really want to get to like the fun stuff where, you know, like doing integrations and things like that. So Kessler Labs Koi for our back end, it's a monster. There you go. All right, my friends. Let me for those of you on Kick, I'm gonna host out here hopefully. But I do want to say thank you so much, everyone, for watching and hanging out and keeping me company and all of those things. I appreciate it. Even those who are just lurking, I appreciate it greatly. I love being able to sit here and kind of share some programming stuff and doing this stuff. I love playing games too on stream, but I love that I have something else that I can also switch off to, and people don't mind watching and listening to. So good things all around. Let me see who is live right now. We've got a couple people live. I'm gonna send you guys over to Hired Gun, who is playing Starfield, the thing that has captured all of my attention and thoughts and brain cells and everything like that. For those of you on Kick. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope everyone has an excellent morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on what it is for you. And I hope to see you back here again in the future for some more stuff, whatever happens to suit your fancy. Until then, see ya, bye.
Oopsie.